Okay, we're continuing on. In part one, I went over, played some videos of the Georgia wildfires, weird anomalies, melting glass, um, possible motive, a data center in one of the counties burning. They want to open. Um, and and now, I told, and as I said, I hypothesize that this drought, Georgia and surrounding states have been. Georgia's been under this drought since last September of 25, and I think it's been done on, manipulated on purpose by these weather controllers, geoengineering. Because, like I said, we had this same event happen a few years ago. They started this in California, where they would cause droughts, which was proven, and then get it to the strike and match phase and light the fires. Maui, same with Maui. And now what, Georgia? That's my hypothesis. And now, in part two, I'm going to go over specifically how they might be doing this. And we're going to start with this video that I found. Let me go ahead. This is for Florida. Now, the fires are also in Florida. Georgia's Florida border.
Supply of moisture on a geological timescale. Physically, an ecosystem designed to retain water cannot naturally evaporate. So, if a place like Florida can dry up to this extent, then what's really at fault isn't just a single weather event anymore. But the map is only the tip of the iceberg. The more devastating consequences lie in what this drought is doing to the land, water, fire, and people. If you think drought is simply the lack of rain, you haven't grasped how physical systems collapse. Over 1,500 wildfires erupted across Florida in just the first quarter of 2026. Let me repeat, 1,500 fires in 3 months, in a state surrounded by water on 3 sides, where the ground moisture is so high that wildfires should be a theoretical risk. The mechanism is actually devastating and logical. The vegetation here is biologically programmed for a wet-dry cycle. They accumulate biomass during the rainy season, dry out a bit in the winter, and then wait for the rains to return to regenerate. But this time, those rains never came. The cycle was stretched.
They never came.
Plants, once part of the ecosystem, were drained of water, turning into thousands of tons of dry, slow-burning fuel.
Stay bound.
All right, and let's go over.
And while the surface was burning underground,
8:15.
another object.
Let's go
this
to.
is simple.
Let's go
but
to.
Right now,
this is what I found
it was
interesting.
no longer which state was more unlucky.
All right.
The crucial question now was, what was blocking rainfall on such a massive scale? It's time we...
Now, even though this guy's video is going to blame this on global warming, which is total bullshit, he comes up with the same reason. That, look, he said what was blocking.
Uncovered the physics behind it.
Play that again.
In me now was, what was blocking rainfall on such a massive scale? It's time we uncovered the physics behind it. In meteorology, there's a system called the Bermuda High. Think of it as a fixed atmospheric feature over the western Atlantic. Under normal conditions, this high-pressure system acts as a pump. It draws warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic, then pushes it inland, fueling the rains that enrich the southeastern United States. But right now, the Bermuda High isn't pumping water anymore. It's locked into an anomalous configuration. Imagine you're at the end of a hallway, about to step through a door. But suddenly, that door turns into a wall. That's exactly what's happening. The moisture is still there. It hasn't disappeared. But it's being blocked by a high-pressure system acting as a static barrier. The principle of high pressure is simple. It compresses the air downwards. As air descends, it heats up. Hot air cannot condense into clouds. No clouds, no rain. So, change the way you look at it.
Now, I can show you video after video of the satellite where we've been in this constant high pressure in Georgia.
This isn't a rain deficit. This is a blocked atmosphere. But if this were just a normal high-pressure system, it would have been broken up by other air currents long ago. The real problem is, it just hasn't dissipated yet. Based on all the usual seasonal logic, This
Here's
model
our
should have
drought.
collapsed. We are in a weakening La Nina phase. Historically, when La Nina retreats...
All right, now before I saw this, I was sitting around thinking, I was thinking to myself, I wonder. Okay, Georgia, we've got the Atlantic here, so I said, I wonder if the Atlantic, because I'm not a meteorologist, so I'm having to go behind and do all this work because these little coward meteorologists that know damn well what's going on won't open their frickin' mouths. Okay, all these chicken shits. So I'm stuck, even though I have a science degree. Like I said, I'm not a freaking meteorologist. But I said, I wonder if the Atlantic has anything to do with this. And right here, so we've got the Atlantic Ocean significantly influences Georgia's weather by affecting temperature and precipitation patterns, particularly during events like El Nino, which can lead to less active hurricane seasons. Ocean currents transport warm and cold waters and impact local climate conditions. The Atlantic plays a crucial role in shaping the weather patterns in Georgia. Its influence is particularly evident during specific climate events. It's probably the same for South Carolina. Ocean currents transport warm and cold waters, which affect local temperatures and rain, precipitation. Altered rainfall. The shift in weather patterns can also affect rainfall distribution, resulting in above average precip during certain seasons. Overall, the Atlantic Ocean significantly influences Georgia's weather by affecting temperature, precipitation, and hurricane activity. Now, I'm going to show you, this is probably going to be in part 3 where I show you satellite photos, because I kept wondering, why are they doing all these chemtrail operations in the frickin' over the ocean? Well, I guess this answers my question. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Then let's go on to our next evidentiary video. Why it never rains. Why it never rains in Southern California. Let's see. Let's start with that one. Oh, well, just a second. Before I do that one, let's go to this one. Magnetic clouds. Because we're on this subject of high pressure and blocking. Okay, magnetic clouds. 2 point... Well, it's... Beginning magnetic clouds 2.1. Well, I guess that was... Oh, here we go. Okay.
Are mostly predictable ahead of an arriving weather front carrying moisture.
Alright, here we are with our...
moisture.
And here we are in Gainesville, Florida. This meteorologist is showing all these chemtrails. And here's what he says.
Carrying moisture.
Oh, I meant to go back farther than that. Hold on.
Peninsula. These skies are mostly predictable ahead of an arriving weather front carrying moisture.
Carrying moisture. Yeah. Yeah. So they want to block that, I guess. Let's see. There was another clip here. Hold on.
Election Day, November 6, 2018. Look at that.
And how are they producing?
Oh, now here he's going to talk about how this watch.
A large charge.
Solar power. Solar panels on the satellites themselves, and they have a focus ability to either a wide spectrum or targeted spectrum microwave into the cloud systems, or they can narrow the focus and cause a forest fire
to a certain pinpoint location.
Oh.
Yeah, like the ones in California.
Right.
Oh. Well, let's play that again.
And that provides more particles into the atmosphere.
Well, not exactly. California.
Right.
Hold
certain
on.
pinpoint location.
Hold on.
A forest fire
I didn't go back far enough.
and cause a forest fire
to a certain pinpoint location.
Yeah, like the ones in California.
Yeah. Okay. And now let's go to why it never rains in Southern California. Hold on here. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Why it never rains. Okay, so we're gonna go to. Alright, we're gonna go to. Skip to. 2.58. Let's go to 2.58. Close enough. Alright, let's go.
This light's about to change, so.
This is in California.
Quite a shot, folks. But anyway, what's going on here is the weather modification is absolutely off the charts, folks. We should have had a large amount of rain out of this system. Instead, we get absolutely nothing. Nothing at all, folks. Nothing. I mean,
Just like the weatherman here, he said before we finally suddenly got some rain this week. He's like, it's April. Where's the rain?
really attacked this one. You know, at this rate, the state of California has absolutely no chance. I mean, they're going to burn this place up. I mean, if we can't even get some basic precipitation to wash the glyphosate off the plants and saturate the soil and get all of the salt that has been deposited in the soil from the tap water that is just loaded up with all these salts from the waters travel through all these canals and the irrigation. We're going to see more tree death continue. It's going to become par for the course, folks. Because what's going on here is just more weather warfare, and no doubt in anticipation of the 5G rollout when they want all the trees gone. You can see the trees have been removed from these sidewalks here, and the ones that they've taken down have not been replaced. You see they're dying. I mean, they're not watering them. The trees aren't getting the precipitation that they need. They build these houses with no yards to speak of, no protection from electromagnetic weaponry that's about to be deployed everywhere. And you look at these clouds, and there's like 4 different levels to the arrangement in the sky now. It's really bizarre. I mean, I remember as a child, you would have white puffy clouds, and when it got ready to rain, they'd have this gray underbelly backdrop against the dark blue sky. Now you have no such thing taking place. You have this high level aerosol dispersion. That's what you have, folks. High level aerosol dispersion that's being hit with ground-based systems. And I want to talk about this, folks, because, you know, we talk about a lot of things. But what you're witnessing here is quite possibly, because of the extent of this, this weather modification is being accomplished with signals that are probably being bounced off the dome, off the firmament, folks. You heard me. Okay, let me zoom in on this, and there it is. All right, that's the line of the lid, folks. That's the chemtrail lid line, okay? And then there's some moisture trapped below this thing, got nowhere to go. It can't go up because it's blocked. They block the convection, which results in the cooling. And what ends up happening, and by the way, there's a lot of humidity. I got the AC going in my car, and it's fogging up my windshield right now. So take a look at this. There's a lot of humidity right now. They've tracked the humidity close to the ground. There's a nice big cell tower for everybody to look at. You know, They do this everywhere. California is no exception, and California is just a place where a lot of things are done out in the open because people are so stupid that they think everything's just normal here, and they accept it. California has a very large slave mentality population. It's becoming a welfare plantation, so to speak. And that is the plan, folks, is to turn California into one gigantic Agenda 21 welfare plantation. But to those of us who have
Okay, and then we'll go to weather warfare. Let's go to our next one here. Whoops. Oh, why it never rains? Weather warfare. Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Imbriata reporting to you from Fullerton, California. I'm up in Mountain View Park, the northwestern part of Fullerton, the northeastern part of Fullerton, excuse me. What I'm here today to introduce you to is some weather warfare and footage of some weather modification. What we have here, as we pan to the west, over the trees, is geoengineering. Okay, folks, this is geoengineering. This weekend's forecast for today called for thunderstorms over Southern California, over Orange County. In parts of Orange County, we're supposed to be under a flash flood watch. That was according to the National Weather Service just a few days ago. What you have here is how they stop the rain, folks. You can see the grid pattern. You can see these bizarre formations to the west now. If you remember years ago, this is what clouds used to look like. Those are thunderstorm clouds. That is the moisture. That is the monsoonal moisture that was supposed to hit this area. As you can see over the San Bernardino Mountains, I'm panned over this way. And you could see that moisture as it inches its way westward and southerly. What's happening right now is that all this residual moisture from these hurricanes was moving over the desert southwestern portion of the United States into Southern California, and that was going to dump some rain on us. But what we have going on today, to the west, to the northwest, interestingly enough, are aerosol operations, geoengineering. For those of you who are not aware of what geoengineering is, it is weather modification. It is accomplished by spraying metallic nanoparticles into the air at very high altitudes from aircraft. These metallic nanocompounds consist primarily of aluminum, nanoparticulate matter of aluminum. Now, these are hit with phased array radar and various microwave radiation sources, ground-based, of course. We have a tremendous amount of wireless infrastructure on the ground, folks. Tremendously powerful. You go to any typical cell tower and you look at the cables and the power sources going into those things. And I'm here to tell you, folks, they're not just for your cell phones and watching Netflix. Okay? These cell towers are part of a much larger system, of much larger weaponry. All the NexRad facilities, all these Doppler imaging systems, all of this stuff is all part of this. What they do is they microwave these metallic nanoparticles, and that superheats the atmosphere. What we had going on this weekend was an upper level disturbance to the northwest, kind of a little cold weather system. It was going to come and clash with this monsoonal flow that's coming up from the south and from the east. And so what is happening right now, you're witnessing weather warfare, ladies and gentlemen. This right here has put a wedge between the moisture that was coming down from the north and the moisture that is advancing from the east. And you can't get a clearer picture of this from the ground than what you're seeing right now. So what you have here is a complete blockage of the cutoff low that was supposed to drop down from the northwest. Yesterday was over the Bay Area and was heading our way. They blocked that system from coming in contact with this system. Now those are clouds, folks. That is moisture.
Yeah, right there.
This is what gives us thunderstorms. This is what gives the desert the much needed moisture it needs in the summer, okay? And what you see here
And in
over
Georgia, I watched, we never got one rain shower out of these cumulus clouds. March, April, you know.
the mountains is what you should see. Now, as you pan to the north, you can start seeing evidence of HARP as well as the geoengineered aerosols that have been dispersed up there. Typical HARP formations in the geoengineered aerosols that are dispersed are going to give you like a tire track pattern in the sky. Ladies and gentlemen, the clouds do not make tire tracks on their own. The clouds
And we'll see those that I'll show you that I took myself.
generally, when we're into this typical weather pattern for this time of the year, the monsoon will flow, you're going to get this popcorn type look to them. And that's what we see. These beautiful.
Okay. Let's go to Weaponized Skies. I was going to play a few more, make sure I cover all bases here. What's next? Weaponized Skies. I thought I played this one. 0.29. Let's see. No, I didn't.
Salt.
0.29. Alright.
Of metallic
Alright, here we go.
compounds, probably of aluminum and other things. But what they've done is they've sprayed the upper atmosphere with a large amount of probably fly ash like aluminum oxide. And what you see here are scalar waves at these altitudes. This is how they manipulate the jet stream, folks. Okay?
The jet stream. Okay.
And so we're here in Placentia, California, just outside of Home Depot. A train's gone by. Lord knows what's inside these things, but look at the sky here, folks. And I just want to say, it's 75 degrees right now in the end of January. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, standing here in this parking lot. It's a beautiful day, but this is how it's done. The problem is, folks, this is done at the expense of all of you all over the country. Look at these scalar waves, folks. Look at this.
Okay, see that? You can see that on radar.
Okay. This is not a normal weather pattern, folks. Okay? They're setting up a mild Santa Ana condition here. And what this does is this creates a dome of high pressure over the desert.
Oh, high pressure.
Southwest, and they can manipulate the jet stream. And in doing so, they can wreak havoc over the weather in the rest of the country.
Wreak havoc over the weather of the rest of the country.
And this is the pretext and justification for all this carbon tax nonsense and all of this carbon emissions nonsense, because they claim that the weather...
And their weather derivatives contracts where they peddle in their little faggot suitcases. Oh, we'll sell you some rain. Yeah, there's a lot of money in the weather, isn't there?
Is being affected by fossil fuel combustion, when in fact there is
Just say no.
no such thing as fossil fuel, for crying out loud. The Earth recreates all of this petroleum inside the crust through geothermal processes with organic and inorganic compounds that are present in the Earth. Deep inside the bowels of the Earth, stuff is recreated, regenerated. It's just the way it is, folks. The carbon emission scam is another...
Okay, we'll go to normal skies. We got a couple more here. Okay. 0.11. 0.11.
January 24th.
Okay, 0.11.
Rain tomorrow, and tomorrow night or Sunday, and look at the sky.
Supposed to get some rain tomorrow.
In
And
California, where
look at the sky.
we've had nothing but Santa Ana winds on and off for the past month, and now the minute we're supposed to get some rain, look at this. This is Joe Embriano, the Fullerton Informer. P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California 92834.
And we look over here. Jet streams are fast-flowing, narrow air currents in the atmosphere that generally blow from west to east. They're primarily located near the troposphere, around 30,000 feet. Okay, jet streams form due to the uneven heating of the Earth's surface. Warm air rises while cool air sinks, creating wind currents. The interaction between warm and cold air masses leads to the development of these high-altitude winds. And then you've got jet streams guide storm systems across regions, impacting precipitation and temperature. And their position can lead to heat waves or cold spells, depending on how they interact with local air masses. And I'm going to stop here. We're going to continue on. I got some more information to get to.